It's really important in communications that they're not only hearing about the thing we really need them to do, which is super important. Can you please fill out this form? Can you please do this? Can you please do that? But also, look at this cool thing that the youth choir did.
How would you like to double the size of your choir in just 2 years? Welcome to Choir Success, where we uncover the best way to manage choirs and choruses in the modern era, so that you and your music and your whole community can thrive. Today is episode 5 with Lars Myron. So now we've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about audience, we've talked about marketing, and now we're going to talk about onboarding so that when people decide to join your organization, they fit right in and they'll choose to stay. This is a video series, so if you want to be notified when each new episode drops, just subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon. And if you like this video, or if you get any value from it, please click on the like button so that other people can find it as well. And now, on with the interview. Lars, welcome back to the program once again for episode 5 in our series.
Happy to be back.
And so today we're talking about onboarding. So my first question for you is, what is onboarding?
Sure. So for us, when we talk about onboarding as it pertains to recruitment, of course, there's employee onboarding, but onboarding is welcoming a new singer into our organization and making sure that they have the information and the connections to the right people that they need to not only feel informed, but also to, as quickly as possible, feel like a member of the Columbia Choirs family, as we call it.
Right. So that sounds like it would be super important to have people feel comfortable and then stick around and kind of to put it in a funnel-esque language to retain them over for that first season and also maybe for follow-on seasons.
Yeah, and I'll take that even one step further because yeah, retention is an important thing that we're focused on. It's something that we continue to try and get better, but also we want to take that one step further. We want our current families to be advocates for us, to go out and refer and say, my kid's
Mhm.
having a blast, you should come too. And this is the onboarding stage and that first season really is super key to whether someone says, okay, that was fun, I'm gonna go try something else, versus, being one of our key, songbirds out in the community saying, come join, come sing with me.
So onboarding sounds like a great idea that everybody could agree on, but let's get to the details. What do you do in to onboard new people and then join the organization, and what's been really effective for Columbia Choirs?
Sure. So in my brain, I've kind of split this out into two halves. The first is logistics, and the second is community. So when it comes to logistics, um, this really does start earlier in that marketing funnel that we talked about in the last episode. Um, Having clear and timely communications is, of course, a goal for us all, but super important in making people feel like they aren't on an island. They don't step into that room and not have anyone to turn to ask the questions. So from the time they are sent a welcome email after they do their choir placement or audition, they are sent a welcome email that says, we're excited to have you sing with this ensemble, depending on their age. This is when they meet. Click here to complete the enrollment agreement. That enrollment agreement, we've tried to streamline it as much as possible to make it clear, to make it easy to fill out. And then they click that, and they are within a short period of time then imported into our member system, which we've been using, Choir Genius, and we're very happy with.
You're
Um,
actually a user of the sponsor of this video.
Yes, we are. So we get them into that system. That's where what we bill them through. So it's very important for us that they're in that system and they understand it. But they're also sent a follow-up email within a couple of days with a welcome packet, we call it. So for us, this is about a 4-page document. Um, we used to have more pages, but we've split out the welcome packet. So it used to include information about rehearsals, being on time, bringing water and a snack. It included information about our member database, how to log in, some of our other systems. It included a message from their conductor. So, hello, I'm excited to have you join us in this ensemble. The welcome packet also used to include a list of important dates as we know it at the time. So at the beginning of the season, we have our concert dates, our retreat dates, our tour dates, if applicable. So just for their ensemble, we're talking about 9 ensembles. So we got to make sure that those folks have just the information they need and not too much. Um, and then it also had a uniform guide and information about purchasing or collecting pieces for the formal uniform for performance. So it used to all be in one, and it was like 7 or 8 pages. We then broke it up, and now we have a welcome packet that has all of the sort of welcome, here's what you need to know information. We have the important dates as a separate. So when they get that email, if all they care about right now is dates, they can click there. Of course, we always forward them to our calendar in Choir Genius because that is the most up to date. And then there's a link for the uniform guide. So again, that uniform information doesn't get lost. The first few things, are really an arm reach out, like hello, an extended hand. But we ultimately need them to take action on purchasing a uniform, or else, their child or themselves as an adult runs into a problem when it's time for concert time and they don't have a uniform. So that is all in that welcome email. They have hopefully everything they need, depending on what type of person they are. Some people probably don't click into much of that email, and that's okay. We will help them. Some people will read every single word and will feel so much better and so much more informed about what they're getting into on day 1 of rehearsal, month 3 of rehearsal, first concert. We try and give them a little bit of that.
So that's the logistics side of it, I think. And what was the other side, the second half?
The other side is community. So a couple seasons ago, we started in the most formal way we ever have with a welcome event. So I do want to put in a little footnote here that onboarding is super important for new singers, but it's also important for returning singers, for folks that have been in, 4 years, 10 years, whatever that might look like. We want them to have the most up-to-date information as well. So our returning singers also get the welcome packet, the uniform guide, the important date sheets. And these community building events are just as important for the returning singers as for the new singers. So we have our beginning of season welcome event, which we combine all of our children and youth choirs. So we have, this year we had 200 singers plus parents and guardians come. We sang together, all together. We split up into each choir level ensemble, got their own time together, where the conductor got to lead a group activity with the parents and guardians involved. For our adult choirs, the welcome event is a little bit less formal and normally consists of going to dinner before the first rehearsal. And so this is super important. New folks have, if they are so inclined, some folks would rather not put themselves in that situation, and that's fine. We'll see them at the rehearsal, but if they want to come and grab a bite to eat and get to meet some of their fellow group members, that's really important. So kicking it off well, and then making sure that throughout the year they have the ability to connect. So we do have social media groups, so like a Facebook closed group for our various levels that is used somewhat, but we also try and work community building into any time we have an in-person event. So for example, at our retreats, so we have kind of what we call day retreat. So the youth choirs, let's say, come for 5 hours, and then at the end of that they have put on a little performance. So we invite parents and guardians, friends and family in, and put on a little performance, get to talk to them. We have the board out in the lobby, the board of directors out in the lobby, meeting people. So we really try and build that community. And then I think it's really back to communications. It's really important in communications that they're not only hearing about the thing we really need them to do, which is super important. Can you please fill out this form? Can you please do this? Can you please do that? But also, look at this cool thing that the youth choir did. For us, we have such a diverse group of choirs doing different things that we've tried more and more to clue people in, like look at what the adult choirs are doing, or look who they got to interface with. So we're doing this through monthly newsletters to our members. The first page is about their choir only. The second page is about the organization. So we have summer camps coming up, or we put on 3 great concerts. Here are some photos. So just trying to kind of wrap that in so that folks feel the bigger picture. And again, for us, that's 9 ensembles versus the one that they're a member of.
Right. So celebrating everything that you can celebrate,
Mhm.
and making sure that they know what the group is all about, what the group is doing, and then also recapping, I guess, here to create as many opportunities for personal connection as you can, right? And probably to streamline things, like when you say we all sang together, somebody led that, right? And provided that perfect opportunity for people to enjoy something together.
Yeah, and the first year, that welcome event was a little bit more experimental, and then I think we've done the welcome event 3 years now. And this last one, we every all of our staff knew what they were going to lead, and artistic director kicked it off, and we had folks do a little fashion show of what the uniform is supposed to look like, and we're getting better and better every time.
Got it.
Today's episode is brought to you by Choir Genius. If you're watching this channel, you already know that managing a choir can be really challenging, especially with limited resources. Choir Genius is a software platform, both a website and a mobile app, that makes it much easier. With tools for managing members, planning events, simplifying registration, and boosting donations, it combines many tools into one simple solution. See the difference for yourself and try it for free at choirgenius.com. And now, back to the interview.
Got it. And I remember last episode we were talking about the marketing funnel, and you had some numbers for how people were flowing through there, so you could measure success year to year and do all of that. Do you also measure retention and how it might be related to this community building and these logistics?
That is a good question. I don't have any numbers for you, but it is something that we talk about a lot and something that I think will be my next phase of numbers. I would say retention has always been mysterious to me. Like it's so interesting, um, especially well, I always say back when I was in choir, like for youth ages, we were doing a lot less, I think. We had our interests and we kind of stuck to them, and I just feel like that's really ballooned, and kids coming through middle and high school are just pulled in more directions. And so it is something that we've constantly been thinking about because we see how much work we put in. I was running through some of those numbers of new singers, but if you add the end of one season plus the new singers, it doesn't equal those two combined because we do lose folks each year. So, yeah, somewhere for us to grow in terms of looking at those numbers and trying to see if what we're doing is making an improvement.
Right. Well, I can tell as I said before, you take a scientific perspective on this, and it sounds to me like that's a great way for you to continue your process.
Yeah.
The next video in this series and the final episode is going to be about how do you deal with all the success you're going to have? How do you plan for growth? How do you avoid the pitfalls that people have when they grow quickly? It's going to be a great episode, so you don't want to miss it. So subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon, and like this video so that other people can find it as well. Thanks and have a great day.